I'm looking up, I'm in the arbour here, the wisteria arbour, folks, and I've come out to admire the beautiful buds on this wisteria. We've got a purple or a blue and white one, alternating, and a couple of roses dotted here and there, climbers that is. Now in the past I have mentioned that I need to clean this up and thin it out, and as you can see I haven't done that. I've actually had it pruned. I've got it pruned back, and just to thin out the top so we can get a bit more airflow in it. Now every year it flowers beautifully, profusely here for us, and it's in the month of October as we are now, and this is just about to come out. A little bit late it is actually. Normally it'd be out in full flight by now in flowers. And we've got a heap of buds coming on still. You can see the tassels just hanging everywhere. Look, down here for example, don't mind the grass in the background. Look at this beautiful long cascading buds that we have here, or flowers. Now, it's all the way along on the outside. You can see through that blue and white, or purple and white as you want to call it. And every year, I came out here just to show you the flowers that are about to come out. Every year it flowers profusely. It is a sight for sore eyes from wherever part of the garden beds you are, or garden on the property you are, to admire it. And every year, at about a week's time from today or so, we get a downpour of rain and every single flower is destroyed. So the long-lasting flowers on the wisteria only last 2 or 3 days after a downpour. Now, unfortunately, and I say this because with a broken heart or a heavy heart, that in 2 days we're going to get another downpour, if not sooner, as they've had predicted. I won't say forecast. And this plant won't even get a chance to bloom properly. It'll be halfway through its blooming stages, and the blooming beauty is going to go to I was thinking of another word, I couldn't think of another word. So I'm just going to admire it for a little bit longer and see what we can hopefully get out of this. Hopefully the rains aren't, well, hopefully it's just not going to be hopefully, it's going to happen. So this plant may not come into its full flight this year for me, folks. Some of you have out there in Melbourne, I know I've been down recent times and I've seen a lot of wisterias in full bloom. Lucky you, microclimates, we've spoken about that before. The warmer your region or the warmer your garden is, the quicker the spring cycle begins. In my books, I reckon spring is only just starting. It started late September. It's a month behind, a month and a bit behind, especially on our property. Look at this. You've got the blue and the white going on, and that one there is another white if I'm not mistaken, but it's the slowest to take off. Plenty of bud swell on here, but no bud burst yet, and definitely hasn't developed. Super, super behind schedule, folks. Hooray, there you go. I lost my bearings. So this is very late. All the other ones have taken off, but again, not as much as they've done in previous years. But it's going to be a sight for sore eyes, be it all one day. Dam's full, frogs are happy, the ducks are swimming, and the ground's boggy. I don't need any more rain. Want some cape wheat? Got plenty here for you, folks. Just standing next to these olive trees in pots, and this is the other part about a slow spring start. Only just starting to push on growth. You get water, don't worry about it. It looks a bit dry on top there, but it is moist underneath there. And that's the superfood that's crusted over just there like that. So underneath here, look at the moisture. It's nice and damp, okay? So always put your fingers into the soil or your pot to inspect to see if it needs water, because the surface always tends to dry out a lot quicker than what it does inside. And the worst thing for pot specimens is too much water. In actual fact, I don't even water these. I let the rain do it because we've got enough of that. But the new growth is coming on just now. And I didn't put the seaside daisies, and I definitely didn't plant the strawberries or this agapanthus, folks. You know, it's not only weeds that like to drop seed, so does some of these beautiful varieties. Now, we've got aggies everywhere here, and we've got strawberry bed. It's about 20 metres away from this bed here, so I don't know how on earth it got in here, but it did. Could be a bird eating a strawberry, taking a poo-poo, drop the seed, and up it comes. Now that's how wonderful nature is for you. So you always get little volunteers and the growth is coming on. If you haven't got any growth even like this yet, don't despair. It is slow this season. That's what I've noticed. A lot of my trees still haven't even kicked off yet. Some of them are in, you know, leaf and flower. Others are just starting to bud up now. Same varieties as well. I mean, just over there you can see a beautiful flowering cherry tree, or two of them in fact, that are in full flight now. They're great. But to the side of those we've got some black locust trees which just started to show some growth on the tips of them. And around the other property we've got some Melias as well, that one is coming to full flight and the other one's showing no signs of growth at all. It's not dead, It's just every plant's got its own cycle and its own timing depending on its own little climate and soil conditions. No two plants are identical, maybe as a species, but not in the environment that they grow in. Now, plants like this in pots, make sure you've top dressed them, make sure you check the moisture level, and do not apply too much mulch. You may read a lot of articles and things like that saying that mulch is great to retain the moisture in. Look, I'm talking about Melbourne here at the moment, and obviously in warmer regions, yes, apply your mulch, but in the cooler regions like what we are at the moment, the moisture level is really high. The grounds are really wet underfoot, even the garden bed's below surface. I tend to water more often now in my veggie garden, like today I watered, yesterday I watered, because I haven't applied the mulch yet, because it's not been warm enough for me to put the mulch there as a blanket. Yes, it's good for the microbes, but the sun hasn't been out there long enough. It's only been 1 or 2 days that we've had decent sunlight to basically worry about, the microbes being cooked by the sun. So if it continues like this for the next 2 or 3 days, definitely get the mulch out. But if the forecasts are 13 degrees, you know what? I'll tell you what the forecast is going to be here in my little town. If I can only open the app up, we're looking at Melbourne at the moment. Let's look at Lethbridge. So we currently got 18, feels like 12. What doesn't that surprise me? 21, 14, 16, 16, 16, 14. That's not spring weather yet. And it's rain, 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 partly rain, sunshine and sunshine. So folks, we are still creeping up slowly to warmer weather in Victoria. Again, check your microclimate, because your backyard, front yard, side yard, nature strip may be well protected by structures and other trees alike, which allows you to plant out, like I know my good friend Marianthi did, plant some tomatoes out into a garden, and they're doing wonderfully well. I planted some at Coburg in the front raised garden beds, and it's jumping out of the ground. Here, the soil still is cold. It warms up at the daytime, but it doesn't sustain its heat at night time. And that's what you need to look out for. So check the temperature, check your plants, don't despair if they're not growing, and don't forget to put your superfood and black grit to give them the best chance and the opportunity to grow big, strong and healthy. Become a VIP on our club, folks, and be able to get your VIP prices every day of the year. So don't expect our sales to be running every day like they used to in the past. We want you guys to become our membership at our VIP, which means it gives you 4 magazines plus up to 80% off a huge range of products on our website. That's every day of the year. So don't wait for a sale. Subscribe today and enjoy great products at better prices every day. From me, Vasily Maresi.